All right, we'll call the meeting to order at this time. Welcome everyone who's come tonight. We're going to open in prayer. Heavenly Father, we thank you for the privilege of meeting here tonight, and thank you for the blessings that you have bestowed on our township, on each of us individually. I pray we take the time to recognize those things in our life, Lord, that are so good. We are humbled before you. Pray for your wisdom and guidance for the township, Lord, for each of us as individuals and our families. Pray that we continue to honor you and to bless you in what we do and how we treat one another. Pray that you would be glorified in this township. In Christ's name, amen.
Amen.
If you could join with us for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation,
under God,
indivisible, with
liberty
and
justice for all.
Thank you. You may be seated. All right. Looks like everyone's here this evening.
Yep. All right.
Including my mother, who's never been to a meeting, but insisted after taking me out for dinner that she comes. So there she is. Thanks for coming, Mom. All of
And today is her birthday.
Yeah, well, it's close enough.
Took her to the rainbow.
Yeah. 86. You can do no wrong.
Good.
All right. Item 5, approval of tonight's agenda. Is there a motion to approve tonight's agenda?
So moved.
Support. Okay. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right. The agenda is approved. Item 6 are the board's communication letters and reports that have been received for information. And item 7 is our initial public hearing time. This is where you as the public are able to address the board on subject matter that's coming up yet tonight on our agenda. A number of different items that maybe caught your eye when you looked at the agenda, and if there's one you want to speak to, this would be the occasion to do so. And I know at the same time that, where is he now? Oh, Brad, okay. I see Pete's up first, we'll have Pete, but then Brad Slaw. If you'd like to speak tonight, he wanted to address the board and has somewhere he has to be. He said he'd keep it under the 3 minutes, but it's not on an agenda item, so looks like Pete's deferred to you then. So
he did defer to me, and I'm not going to sit still if that's going to happen.
Okay. So. All right. Well, welcome.
So just a quick update on things that are going on. The House has not been in session since the beginning of June. That's almost a scary thought. It's like there isn't business to be done, so you wonder what's really happening, right? We are going to be back for one day on Wednesday of this week, so we will be in for 1 day of session, and then it looks like we probably will not be back in until either the 12th, 13th, 14th of November, or otherwise the 1st of December. And part of that will be related to what happens at the election. If the Republicans win the House majority back, we will expect to see a lame duck that will be really very, very interesting. In fact, it might be the most lame duck that you've ever seen, with lots and lots of bills, lots and lots of stuff getting pushed. If the Republicans don't win that majority and the Democrats maintain control, they've really got another 2 years to do their work, and so there's not going to be the reason to push like that. I guess one of the things that I wanted to just touch base with tonight is because each one of you can play a role in the process, and that is the tip wage and the paid sick leave. Those two things are going to be hugely impactful to the businesses of our community. And I just wanted to speak into that. Maybe you don't know, but you should, is that under the plan for the paid sick leave, that people will be able to take time in quarter-hour increments without any notice, and they just can claim that it's sick time. So they're going to get up to 9 full days of time a year. So as you progress, you get up to 9 full days. But if you took that in quarter-hour increments, you could show up every day late by a quarter hour for your job. Nothing the employer can do about it. In fact, if you ever took sick time during that time and an employer were to try and terminate your employment or give you a reprimand, all of those things could potentially create a lawsuit because you're not allowed to do that underneath those new rules. So I'd just defer to you to say, I think it's worth looking at what's possible underneath those things and trying to encourage our legislators to come back in and actually do something to try and move us toward a place where we're going to be better suited for that tip wage. I had people come in, servers come in and talk to me today. They're really concerned about the tip wage piece, and so I think there's a potential of 60,000, the Restaurant Association says 60,000 lost jobs if we move to that tip wage the way it's structured right now. So just a couple ideas. I think if you get a chance, do some work in figuring out what's going on. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, Pete Plowman from Georgetown Precinct 13. Just want to read you something. It says integrity. We believe honesty is the best policy. We believe transparency and accountability are critical. This is from your all-in brochure that they mailed out. And I got to commend you on item number 15, that you're going to bring transparency to all meetings here at Georgetown and videotape those. Number 15, I got to commend you. You're going to bring that in and make that happen. A lot of people here may not know, but there's a lot of decisions that are made in subcommittees that all of a sudden come to the board, and it's like, how fast did that happen? If we can review those as citizens and taxpayers, we'll be better informed on what's going on in Georgetown. So I commend you for bringing that up. The other item is item 7.2, which is the paving on 12th Street. Last time I was here, I talked about how you could possibly leverage what they're doing at the Road Commission for the new water pipeline. You could leverage our strength as Georgetown, as Gary's enumerated many times, that we're 1/6 of the county. We pay all these taxes and we get no money for it. We can strong arm him, knowing Gary, he's a hard ball player. He can twist arms a little bit and get the Road Commission to pave 12th Street, maybe Jackson even, but to hold them off on that pipeline and say, hey, do this for us, we'll do that for you, because they're not going to go forward with the pipeline without Georgetown. I mean, before we write them money of $15, $16 million, maybe we get a few dollars out of them and get their good faith and credit as to not a handshake, but to get them to written commitment that they could do 12th Street. We could then get some money from the county that we never seem to get. So I'm hoping that you'll leverage that. But I also want to reiterate, I want to commend you for making all meetings transparent in Georgetown. That's a great idea. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? All right, seeing none, we'll close that initial public comment period. We're going to go to item 7. Got a couple of different public hearings. The first one here is for consideration of the 2025 budget adoption. Is there a motion to open the public hearing?
So moved.
Support. Okay, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, so the public hearing is open right now. If you came tonight to speak to the 2025 budget, the floor is yours. Welcome.
Hi, I'm Sue Cooley. I live behind Georgetown Cemetery on Eric, and I'm precinct something or other. I heard that the cemetery proposal, the $250,000 budget, was for the soccer fields to convert that to cemetery, which Georgetown Township already owns the fields, and that's what that money is for. Is that correct? Or are they going to tear down all the trees in the cemetery?
Two things to say. This is not a dialogue at this point, but rather your chance for input.
Okay, then.
My second thought is I believe Services is going to take that up in their meeting as well tonight, and you'd be welcome to join them.
Okay, perfect.
So, yep,
Thank
go
you.
ahead. Okay, thank you. Didn't mean to cut you off if you got more to say. Okay. All right. Thank you, man. Anyone else? This is the public hearing on the adoption of the 2025 budget. All right. None? Is there a motion to close the public hearing?
So moved.
Support.
Okay, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, the public hearing is now closed. Now is there a motion to adopt the 2025 budget?
So moved.
Support.
Is there any further comment that the board wishes to make concerning that budget? I know it's third or fourth time before us, but perhaps you had a thought that you hadn't brought up before. All right, hearing none?
I was just going to say, I guess it doesn't matter because I won't be here, but as per usual, there's lots of fat that could be trimmed. And like always, just because it's in the budget doesn't mean we're going to spend it. But yeah, surprised nobody else had any comments.
Okay. This is a roll call vote if the board is ready. Okay, I'd ask the clerk to call the roll.
Mr. Grafton.
Yes.
Mr. Belding.
Yes.
Treasurer.
No.
Supervisor.
Yes.
Clerk is yes. Mrs. Steele.
Yes.
Mr. Schwam.
Yes.
6-1.
Okay, budget's adopted, and the millage rate is kept the same at 2.25 mils. Item 7, Roman numeral 2, petition to pave 12th Avenue North from Jackson Street to the end of the road. This is the time and place for a public hearing. I see a couple of interested parties here tonight. Is there a motion to open a public hearing on this subject?
So moved.
Support.
Okay, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And the second public hearing now is open. This is having to do with the paving of 12th Street, or 12th Avenue, I should say. So is anyone here tonight wishing to address that subject? Welcome again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Robert Dunn, I live on 12th Avenue. I'm kind of representing some of the residents on the street that want to have it paved, and we hope the board continues with supporting this issue. Hopefully we've got all the things ready to go by next spring, and looking forward to it. I came home last night from up north and got my car all muddy again. I said, I can't wait to get this project done. So anyway, I appreciate all your support. Thank you.
Others of you? This is the project where those who live on that street will pay half that cost. Anyone else? Sir.
Hi, Tom Walters. I also live on 12th Avenue. Thank you for what you brought up. I just had a question, and it may have been answered last time, but we live on a road that's 0.4 of a mile long, and we are going to pay half to have it paved. What I'm wondering is, did everyone else in the township at some point have to pay to have their road paved? Okay.
Yeah. This is not a dialogue, but I can say that whether it's county dollars that they've received from us as taxpayers, whether it's the township that's paved the road, again, taxpayer dollars, I think you're asking, have the people living on that street paid? Am I correct?
Well, yes. I see a whole lot of paved road in Georgetown, and there's not a whole lot left. And I just wondered, does, everybody on Orchid and everyone else, at some point, they had to pay to have the road paved?
Yeah.
Okay. That's fine. I didn't know. I just had a question. You actually made me think of it. Thank you. And I just wondered. That was all I had.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Steve Plowman again. The issue is that those are Georgetown roads. The roads that you guys lived on are county roads. So now Georgetown is paving county roads. That's basically the issue. And using half of your money, a lot of money, and other taxpayers, like me, my money, to pave county roads. We used to have a system where we wouldn't pave a road until we had sewer and water put down that road, because if sewer and water ever come, I don't know if they will on 12th, but they will tear up that road and then put in the sewer and water and put in another road. So more money will be spent. There's also the issue of maintenance of that road over time. So for me, as a taxpayer in Georgetown, I'm not trying to, make your situation small, but the situation is that I, as a taxpayer, don't want to pay to pave county roads when the county should be paving those. That is not our responsibility. Yes, we have 2 roads left, but why is it our responsibility? So, as I had stated before, we can get the money from, hopefully, leverage our strength as a huge body of taxpayers of Georgetown with the county to hold those people off on the pipeline again, to get them to pave those roads. Because, as Gary has said, even to the commissioners here in the meeting, we pay all these taxes to the county and we seem not to get anything back. You can save the county and these landowners a lot of money. What, $640,000 in total for this project? We're paying half and they're paying the other half. We could play strong arm. This is a political operation. So play politics, and sometimes politics are hardball. That's all I'm saying. As a taxpayer, just for me, I don't want to pay my taxes to pave county roads when they should be paving them. Thank you.
Anyone else? All right, seeing none, is there a motion to close the public hearing?
So moved.
Support.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye. Aye.
And the public hearing is closed. Now, is there a motion from the board to approve the resolution to pave Walt Avenue?
Support.
Okay, it's been moved and supported. Discussion among the board. Any further discussion from previous times? I guess I'd make the distinction that all roads within Georgetown are county roads. There isn't a difference between a Georgetown road or a county road. They're all county roads. So to that degree, we all pay through taxes for those that are paved, and they do pave the primary roads, and they have a cycle, usually 3, 4, 5 years out, for which ones they're going to do. And then, for the sake of the residents, we will accumulate funds to pave roads besides that which the county is covering, or else find that those roads fall into disrepair and simply are never covered because the county doesn't have the money to pave every subdivision and so on. But I get it. It's a judgment call, and this is one of 3 that are left that have never been paved. Other thoughts? Yes.
Is so in 20 years, 25 years, whenever it needs to be repaved, resurfaced, since it's a county road, they would take care of that, like they do on any county roads here, our main roads. Baldwin, 28. So how would that work? They're going to say, no, you paid evidence, so you can resurface.
I'm not sure if that's a genuine question. If you want a statement, you're going to make, but I think the roads you gave as examples are the primary roads that they will continue to pave on a cyclical basis. But I don't think they'll ever reach in and pave, I don't think, streets like this one right here, or most of our side streets, frankly. I don't think the budget that they allocate has proven capable of keeping up with that. I mean, hasn't that been your experience too?
Right, they don't pay for any subdivision, secondary roads, but they pay for the primary roads. Yeah. And that's why that 12th would fall under a primary road, which is a county road. So that was the question, is in the future, we're just going to have to plan on probably. I'm sure they're going to say, hey, we didn't want to do it. We didn't want to contribute a single penny to this in the first place. So why would we resurface it?
Definition of primary, I guess it's probably squishy, but I'm not sure that they would declare that this nub end would be primary. They might well say in segments.
So look at a map.
Yeah.
And like they could look at any street like that and say, well, it's really not primary, like 24th. 24th is a county road.
True enough.
That's really not a primary. It serves subdivisions, so.
Right.
And it's stubs, it's a short section, so.
Right.
Yeah, I just think it's interesting that the county, did we reach out to the county to ask if they would contribute anything?
We did.
And they said not a penny?
Yes.
Which I think it's interesting that they had no desire to contribute anything. Did they say what the reasoning was?
No. Let's suppose this road was tar before, and it deteriorated like the other residential roads we had. We would tar that road with our budget monies, correct?
No, that's a county road.
It's not an arterial road. There's between arterial road and residential road. Arterial roads are roads that pass through. So they do Baldwin, they do Cottonwood, they do the 18th, they do 20th, 24th. Those are arterial roads, Bauer. Residential roads, we do. So if it's a road that's a dead end, it's not going to be an arterial road because it's not a road that passes through. So we would be in charge of that road. If that road had been tarred, let's say it had been tarred 15 years ago, we'd be responsible for retarring it, correct? If I look at it and go, we're tarring this road, the individuals are paying half. If they're going to retar it, we wouldn't charge them half. We would take care of it, just like we do the road in front of your house, the road in front of my house. That's taken care of by the township. So we're tarring this road. We're paying half. They're paying half, which is half more than they would if we had to retar it, restructure it. So nobody that's ever had their road redone in the township in the 4 years I've been on has had to pay half to have their road resurfaced. So I feel that if we're going to surface this road and they're willing to pay half and we're willing to pay half, I think we're ahead of the game on this thing.
And I think if it was already there and they paid for it and then the county said we're not going to resurface it, then at that point I think I'd be okay with using taxpayer money to resurface it at that point. If they made the initial investment, just like anybody in a subdivision paid for that road when they bought the lot. And developer paid for the paving the first time, and then the town. That's why I look at this, and I think this is kind of opening up a door where, do I get reimbursed for the road in front of my house? I'll pay half. Take a half reimbursement from that. And if it was a through road and it served the township, I'd be more on board. But it's serving 20 residents, and that's where I have if we're going to take taxpayer money, all taxpayer money, and that only serves 20 people, I would say let's take that taxpayer money, and if we want to get on a county road to fix something, we could fix the corner at Cottonwood and Baldwin. That's a county road that I would be happy to throw taxpayer money at. And I think a lot of taxpayers would also be happy.
Go ahead.
The issue I have, what you just brought up, we would not resurface it. The number one issue I have with this whole thing, it's actually the only issue I really have, is the fact that right now we don't have a policy for roads to be resurfaced if they don't have sewer. So that does not have sewer, so we would never even look at that road again. There's dozens of roads in this township that don't have sewer hookup, thus we don't even look at them for resurfacing. So that is my issue, and I brought it up in utilities to have that addressed. But that is my only issue with this, where it's kind of the anomaly. This is off what we've been following for years.
So we also know utilities will never be sewer there.
Our policy, if it's reasonable to put sewer in, then we don't resurface. And as we discussed in utilities, this is not reasonable. So that policy does cover that. It's not reasonable for them to ever get sewer, so it's not part of that policy.
It's interesting. We pave what we pave by default, meaning you start from the premise that the county is responsible for the roads because they're all county roads, unless it's a private road, right? But they can't or won't, right? And so we've developed a policy for years now of utilizing taxpayer dollars here to get the lesser roads done, right? They're the non-arterial. But yet when they want a certain jurisdiction, like you point out, Michael, with Cottonwood and Baldwin, they're not going to let us, throw money at that and change that. They refused it when we attempted to begin with. So it just seems
pretty weak.
I
called that on the drawing. I said that was terrible, and Carlton said we don't have any say over that. That's a county road. And I said it's a county road, but it's in our township.
Right.
We can dictate to the county what they're going to put in the
Did you
township.
approach them on that? Because I know I did. I approached them.
Yeah, I talked to Carlton about it. So there's nothing we can do.
Well, I went directly to the engineer and to the Ottawa County Road Commission.
Oh yeah, I did. I think it was Brett Laughlin. Is Brett Laughlin Roads?
And they wouldn't change it. And I have no reason to believe they would change it today. And I realize that we're getting off topic a little bit, but the point is they assert jurisdiction where they want to, and then they, of course, relinquish jurisdiction to our payments on those things which they either don't want to or can't afford to as they see it. So it's a little bit of a hodgepodge that way.
And you said there were roads that weren't arterial roads that we did use taxpayer money to pave?
Wouldn't that be almost any,
My street, your street.
your street?
No,
my street?
that developer did that.
But we use taxpayer money to repave them.
To resurface.
Yep.
Yes, which I said is if they pay for it the first time, we'll resurface it 20 years. I'd have no problem with that. It's that initial $325,000 taxpayer money that's going for 20 people's road.
But let's respect these 20 residents enough to understand that they're also taxpayers in this township, and so they have chipped into the resurfacing of my road. They've chipped into the resurfacing of your road, and so it seems fair that at some point we respect them enough to chip in half towards the initial surfacing and future resurfacing of theirs. Like, they're not some outlier freeloader that has done nothing for this township. They pay their taxes too. And so really they're not just paying 50%, they're paying 50% plus their property taxes that go towards resurfacing throughout the township. And so
one of the things they were getting to was resurfacing by the county, which is leveling the road because it's a dirt road, gets washboard. Also dust control. That's their taxpayer money being used. For everybody else who paid for their road in their subdivision, they don't get dust control. They don't, so part of their tax money is going for the dust control. And the grading.
Part of their tax money is also going to resurface my road and to resurface your road. And we're not funding the whole project for them. We said half, and they have jumped through all of the hoops to get to this point of they will pay half and we will pay half. This is something that they wanted. It was a proposal that we came to mutually. I think that it is unprofessional for us to even consider at this 11th hour in their whole process not following through on our piece of the bargain just because we should be strong-arming. We should be making it political. Like, they came to us, they had a plan, they got all of their signatures. This is like the 4th time that it's been on an agenda. They have done their due diligence. They were even willing to increase the amount that they had to pay to take care of their neighbors who were on corner lots. Like, we put a hoop in front of them and they jumped through it, and then we said, oh, sorry, that hoop isn't quite where we need it to be, now it's here, and they jumped through it. Like, they have literally done everything. And so I think that out of respect to them, out of respect for the fact that they are taxpayers and in this community, that we just need to say yes and get it done for them.
They are probably 2 miles away from being able to be hooked up. That's not a possibility.
It's not going to happen. So let's give them a clean road.
It should not even be a question. The fact you're willing to pay half, you've been incredibly conscientious about this. I think it should be done. I think most people would be. It's wonderful that you're here, and you've been very, very kind as you come to all of our meetings and very, very professional. The road needs to be paved.
Any other comments? All right, hearing none, this is a roll call vote.
Mrs. Grassman?
Yes.
Mr. Belding?
Yes.
Treasurer?
No.
Supervisor?
Yes.
Clerk is a yes. Mrs. Steele?
Yes.
Mr. Schwam?
Yes.
Yeah. It's 6-1.
Okay, thank you. Item 8, public comment for actions remaining, actually,
You already did
on
that.
spot, sorry.
There you go.
Me?
We just moved 8 to like 6.5
Yeah.
earlier. It's all good.
All right, item 11, have I got that right? Yeah, 11.
We have to accept consent agenda, which I think is fine.
Excuse me?
So we moved 8 up to 6.
We had done 8 before the public hearing, so we made 8 accidentally, just kind of like 6.5. But now I think that we have to do number 9, which is consent agenda.
Oh, you're right. Yep, thank you.
Is that correct?
Yep. Item number 9, consent agenda. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Support.
Comments? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
It's approved. Thank you. Okay, item 10. This is where Jimmy Jackson is in 2 spots here. All right, so item 10 is resolution scheduling a hearing on assessment roll for paving 12th Avenue north of Jackson. Is there a motion to approve the resolution?
So moved.
Support.
Okay, discussion among the board? Okay, hearing none, say, oh, go ahead.
Assessment roll. So what, the assessment roll look like there's 23 parcels on it? Am I getting ahead of myself here? Take that back, 22. I guess my question is, the 2 corner lots, are they included in this or not included in this?
Oh, so the,
Okay.
for the top and the bottom one.
All right, that was my only question.
Okay. This is a roll call vote as well.
Ms. Schwam?
Yes.
Ms. Steele?
Yes.
Clerk is a yes. Supervisor?
Yes.
Treasurer?
Yes.
Mr. Belding?
Yes.
Mrs. Grassman?
Yes.
7-0.
Okay, thank you. Now, item 11, items to transfer to the tax roll, and these are for those who have fallen behind. Is there a motion to move these items to the tax roll?
So moved.
Support.
Supported? Any comments among the board? An annual duty on our part here. Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And it carries. Item 12, another resolution, this time to add Blendon Township to the Grand Valley Metro Council. There a motion to approve the resolution to add Blendon Township.
So moved.
Support.
Supported. Any discussion?
Is there any reason why we wouldn't add them?
No, there's no reason.
Didn't find any reason, so I just wondered if there was anything else.
I know Ryan and Justin are liaisons, if you will.
Yeah, just add another municipality to it.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Any other comments? Should call the roll?
No, is it a resolution? Yeah, okay. Mrs. Grassman?
Yes.
Mr. Belding?
Yes.
Treasurer?
Yes.
Supervisor?
Yes.
Clerk is yes. Ms. Steele?
Yes.
Ms. Schwam?
Yes.
7-0.
Okay, thank you. Item 13, to adopt the 2025 meeting schedule for boards and commissions. Is there a motion to approve the schedule that's been provided to you?
So moved.
Support?
Okay, appears to follow past practice. Comments? Hearing
Thought it
none?
looked good. Yep.
I'm sorry?
I just said I thought it looked good. Yep.
Okay. Any other comments? All right, all in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Okay, that meeting schedule is approved and of course will be published online. Item 14, Purchase of a DPW truck. Is there a motion to approve the low bid from Benton Baker for the emergency purchase of a DPW truck?
So moved.
Support.
Okay, moved and supported. Any comments among the board? I know that it's not typical that it comes under the emergency provision, one of our policies. Thoughts
Thank you
about
for
that?
taking care of that for us, Rob.
What are the details on this?
There was a truck that had essentially a mechanical failure that was going to be more expensive to fix than what it was worth, if like Blue Book value, if it were repaired, but necessary for continued operations of DPW, so they replaced it.
What was the age of the truck?
It was in our communication.
2017, 143,000 miles.
Head gaskets failed, among other things.
They had a leak, right? And then the leak turned out to be because gaskets were bad?
Yes.
The vehicle will be put on auction, damaged one, or the
Yeah, we're trying to sell it for a few grand.
public auction?
I don't know if it's auction or just, I don't know what we're going to do. Have we decided where?
Yeah. Yeah, I was going to say, I think it's our policy to do public auction.
Any other comments? Okay, hearing none. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried. Item 15.
Number 15, Mr. Chairman, I'd like to move that we table that motion till January for the new board to review.
Support.
It's been moved to table that item and supported. Comments on the tabling.
This was by far the unanimous thing when I went door to door. Every single person, whether they were Republican or Democrat or independent, was 100% for having those recorded because they can't come to an 8:15 meeting for finance. They can't stay until 10 o'clock at night for utilities or services. So it just makes sense. And I mean, all of us went off of the same campaign of transparency. Bosch and I have been pushing this for 2+ years. So I think
7.5.
I think we have to be careful though that our comments are on tabling it and not on the motion itself. Because the motion to table means that we can't actually discuss with the motion.
Right.
I wanted to the vote. There has not been a vote.
No, it's not. Actually, it's not true.
It's once it's proposed.
But I wanted to give Brian that leeway. I'm okay with that.
Yep.
But yes, you're right. So the new board would take it up if that is the vote. So comments on the tabling. Hearing none. All in favor of tabling this issue until, I think you said January 2025?
Aye.
Okay. Actually, yeah, that was a question. I want to make sure I understood.
Oh, I thought you were asking the question. I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. Yeah, all in favor of tabling it until January of 2025, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed?
Aye.
Okay, carries 5-2. Item 16, second public comment period. At this point, any one of you is here is able to address the board for up to 3 minutes on any subject, whether covered at the meeting tonight or not.
Yes. Pete Plowman, Georgetown Precinct 13. So I have something here. It says integrity. We believe honesty is the best policy. We believe transparency and accountability are critical. It's their mailer when 4 of you on the board and a couple of the others in the room sent out to every of us voters. And now I just commended you for doing transparency and bringing it to every committee, and now you table it. You run scared from it. You don't want to have taxpayers and voters know what you're doing at every meeting. You just want them to see this. So, when it says integrity here, not much integrity by tabling this, by being scared to have the taxpayers and voters see what our government is doing. You know, average Joe lunchbox who has to put food on the table cannot come to the finance meeting at 8:15 in the morning. He doesn't have his own business. He has a boss he has to report to. He doesn't live on 17 acres and 7 bathrooms or live on waterfront property. He's got to put food on the table and work. He's got a family. He can't stay here till 10 o'clock at night to look at the services meeting and find out what's going on. I just met a gentleman here on 12th Avenue. Just got his paperwork. He just got it. I just informed him he's going to be paying an assessment of $15,500. Didn't know about it. Just found out about it. Just bought the property. That's how we roll here. So, you don't have much integrity. Very little. Amy, Gary, Jim, John, not much at all. And you table it. Why wouldn't you want the people to know what you're doing? Just like the integrity, Jim, I've asked you many times, what's it been, 8 months, to put my letter into the agenda, into the communications. I gave it to your superintendent, and you yet to put it in there. You told me after a meeting, you thought it was political during the campaign, which people may not know, I ran for trustee. And now what is it? The campaign's over, and now you're censoring me. You're just plain out censoring. You don't want the people to know what transpired to an employee, Dan Hamming, and now we got Gene as treasurer and his son as the chief. Total nepotism, totally against Georgetown rules and policies and procedures, and yet Jim and the members of this board have done nothing to sanction him because he is the issue, or he is the problem. You are the ones who are supposed to take care of that, and you have not done anything.
Anyone else? All right, seeing no one else. Close the second public comment period. Item 17, discussion and general information among the board. Any items any board member would like to bring up for discussion?
I would like to just say thank you to Rob Bristow, our library Rob, for a great job on our newsletter that he sent out. Also, the Georgetown Township Senior Center, GT Connections, is having a fall picnic on Wednesday at 11:30. So I just wanted to point that out. There probably still are some openings if anybody's interested.
I'll mention Justin addressed the Chamber of Commerce at their annual State of the Township this past week and did a great job. So appreciated that, Justin.
Oh, there's one other thing too. Gene DeWitt donated his first firefighter uniform to the Jennison Museum from 1974. And so I thought that was awesome for him to do. So thank you.
Speaking of the Jennison Historical Association, Liz, Timmer, and I are going to be working together, hopefully, to put on some summer programming for the youngers in our community, looking at like kind of a half-day day camp for just a couple consecutive days in the summer to sort of take the place of what the public schools used to do with third grade visits to the museum. As the curriculum has changed, less and less of that is happening in our public schools, and so we're hoping to put together something that families can opt into, but that is going to kind of serve that purpose of teaching some Jennison history to the next generation. And so if anybody is interested in joining our collaboration team to start to brainstorm something like that, let me know, because we would welcome any input. More hands makes lighter work for everybody.
Great.
It's going to be so fun, guys.
Yeah.
I was also at that meeting for the Chamber of Commerce where Justin spoke. Excellent. And I'd like to see a follow-up to that where when we get new members of the board, it was a terrific introduction to what's happening in Georgetown Township and where we stand. And I'd like you to consider maybe putting it on our website eventually and record it. It was that well done. I think it gives terrific insight into where we're going, accomplishments, and so forth. So, well done.
Anyone else?
I just want to say that I have a problem when people question the integrity of the board. Decisions we make on this board are done for the benefit of the township. I make no extra money. Decisions I make I don't think the trustees have gotten a raise in the last 8, 12 years. There's been transparency. You can attend a board meeting. When I first started on the board, sit down. When I started on the board, we met during the day because that's when we had time. We moved the meetings to night so people could come to them. It doesn't go till 10 o'clock. It's 7:45 right now. So services meeting will start at about 8 o'clock. So there's transparency. People can come to these meetings. We have minutes. We have those things that they can read online. We have minutes for the meetings. I don't like it when people come up here and use my name and question my integrity. I have done nothing wrong in the 3.5, 4 years I've been on this board. So, I won't tolerate that because I don't think I have to.
Anyone else?
I was going to say is, a lot of people can't come to meetings. And the meeting minutes of our committee meetings, terrible. It doesn't tell anything. So video is a simple way to do it. So I'm a bit disgusted at that. Oh, and on the topic of disgusting, I had an opportunity to watch the end of our last meeting here with John's attack on Ryan. And if you haven't seen it, you got to watch it. It's unprofessional, inappropriate, and disgusting. And then go look at the treasure one too. That's another great one. I just shake my head in disbelief. Although I've been dealing with it for 7.5 years, almost 8 years, so I'm kind of used to it.
I wasn't going to talk about this, but I did follow up. I contacted Justin. He sent me an email. You could have caused an incredible problem for the township. And talking about transparency, why did you want to go in and see those ballots? You were on the ballot. It made no sense. You could have avoided the election. It could have been terrible for us. We could have been on the news, and we might have made national news on this. But I thought I'd let it go. But he had to call and stop it. And if it wasn't for our people stepping up and saying, this is what's going on, they want to go in and check the ballots that have not been finalized. That was a disaster. And it needed to be asked. And I did it in a nice way. I said, explain it. And then it took off. Mm-hmm. And you had 3 people that were going to go in and look at the ballots. Why?
So I'm gonna intervene here. So the primary reason was the discussion was just the keys themselves. That was the primary discussion. And then it was cross-checked with Roebuck before anything would have ever happened. So there was already checks and balances. So the fact that you have a spicy surprise that you continue to stir this little pot that you enjoy doing right here is ridiculously unprofessional.
You need to contact Roebuck. He called you.
No, I called him. You want to see my phone records, bud?
Each of you has...
I called him. I reached out to him. So you're going off of the word of one individual versus... So it's a she said she... And they don't like me. So I'm just saying.
Point of order.
They don't like me.
Each of you has had a chance to take your position.
Stirs it again.
So is there
Check with Roebuck.
Is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Supported. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. We're adjourned.